The NBA season is officially over. We've got new champs. Morgan, how about this?
Yeah.
7th different champion in the last 7 years.
What? Wait, 7th different champion in how many years?
7.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I didn't know it was going to take you this long to understand.
I've had a day.
Okay,
I've had a day.
That's fair. Anyway, congratulations to the OKC Thunder. They are NBA champs after beating the Pacers in Game 7, 103-91. Tonight was weird.
That's a good way to put it.
Just bizarre. And I felt like for a quarter and a half tonight, I was just in a daze going, gee, I feel sick right now. When Haliburton goes down in the first quarter, and you knew right away.
Oh, you knew.
Right, when they showed the slow motion replay, we probably only need to see once.
No, you say this, but everyone was going to speculate, but then once you saw the slow-mo and the popping.
I understand that. Do we need to see the replay 1,000 times throughout the night? Him just like slapping the floor. Anyway, it was just tough to watch. And I think, when you go into a Game 7 for a championship, there's just so much hype around it. And you want it to be this awesome game. And it really sucked the life out of things for a bit.
Yeah. It's devastating.
Although it really didn't impact the Pacers at first. They rallied. It looked like OKC was a little more shook right after that. I mean, OKC was down at the half to Indiana. But I guess first things first was just the Haliburton injury where you're like, okay, he tore his Achilles. He's going to be out a year. And it's shitty, man. It sucks. It really put a damper, especially because he comes out of the gates with a quick 9 points.
And you want to talk about drama. Like, you just think about the drama of this leading into a Game 7 in the first place. The underdog team going to the home base of arguably, even before this, the best team in the NBA. And so you have all that going. And then you lose your best player. I mean, however you want to put it, the 1-2 punch with him and Pascal Siakam, but what he brings from so many different angles of being a contributor, obviously starting off the game hot with those threes and being an energy guy, being a leader out there, being an energy leader, and going down like that, especially when the storylines leading into this was the calf injury in the first place. And for it to just happen in Game 7, it sucks. It was devastating. And yeah, for all basketball fans, I'm sure they felt that way. And I'm sure even some OKC fans are thinking like, oh, we don't want this to be the, what do they call the asterisks on
asterisk.
This? Yeah. Did I say it right?
I think so.
Asterisk?
Yeah.
Asterisk.
I don't know.
Either way, they didn't want it to be that, right? And it's not ultimately going to be that. But overall, it's just really, really sad and put a damper on the whole damn day.
Asterisks.
God damn it, Deuce.
Asterisks.
Okay. But
it's
anyway.
An asterisk.
Yes, thank you. The asterisks.
I don't know why it's such a tough word for me to say and for you to say, but I do feel like a lot of people mess it up.
So it's spelled Asterrisk. Asterisk.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying. Anyway, damper on the day of basketball, a day that we came in celebrating, super excited for Game 7.
Yeah, and it's you feel for Pacers fans in a big way. You feel for the Pacers, you feel for Haliburton. No shit. It's just, dude, it's so hard to get to the NBA Finals. The grind. Think about how they got there. All of his game winners, some of the epic comebacks.
Yeah.
The game winner in Game 1 he had in OKC. It's so hard to get there, and things have to go right. You have to be relatively healthy,
Yes.
and you have to go to another level with your game, and like
as a team,
it's just everyone's got to be connected and everything. This you look at this Pacers team, I'm like, this was a championship team. They were a championship level team. They composed themselves in such a big way, and it sucks that they are left going, what if?
Yeah.
What if Haliburton doesn't get hurt? What if tonight he's able to finish this game? Like it in some ways you go, oh, you can get back there soon. It's like maybe, maybe Haliburton may not get back there the rest of his career. You don't know.
You just don't know.
He's going to be missing the next year.
Mm-hmm.
And so it bums you out.
On a whole new level
of
of losing a championship game, of losing a game 7.
I know I reference this so many times on the podcast, but I love the 2002 Kings.
Mm-hmm.
You love the 2002 Kings.
Everyone does. The
In
world
Sacramento,
does.
we were so connected with that team. We talk about that team as if they won 3 to 4 championships.
Correct.
They never even got there. That year they didn't, right? They lost to the Lakers in game 7. But those players are fucking heroes here. Like our connection with them is like such a deep level. And this Pacers team made it to the NBA Finals. They will forever be legends in Indiana because of their run in this postseason.
Yep.
All the things you mentioned. They're not supposed to be there.
Mm-mm.
They started 10-15. They're struggling. Tyrese didn't look like a... You're like, God, he got the Supermax for a couple months.
Mm-hmm.
Like he wasn't playing well. They had injuries. They're like, there's no way. Imagine me saying before the season, hey, I got a sneak preview of the NBA season.
NBA Finals.
Yeah, NBA Finals Game 7, TJ McConnell. Yeah, dude, he's taking over in the third quarter. You're like, wait, what? TJ McConnell's in a Game 7 taking over? What the hell? So much of this season was a surprise, and it was so amazing. And you just don't know if you get back there.
No.
And it's tough.
I think the toughest thing as like just a basketball fan is when you do have to do the whole what if thing, because how many times I feel like we do that every year in the postseason because there's always an older player or a veteran player or a star player that is going down. And sometimes it's just the story of their career. I feel like Chris Paul has that identity in a postseason. The what if, but what if he was healthy? What if he didn't pull his hamstring? All these different things. And so now with this Pacers team, the fact that they lasted as relatively, I say relatively healthy because you think about Neesmith with the ankle and
Turner was messed up a little bit this year too.
All the different things. To end up in that game 7 with all those bodies there ready to go, and the main guy goes down. So devastating. I think from a broadcast standpoint, devastating seeing John Haliburton look like he was crying when Tyrese did go down. The team huddling over Tyrese Haliburton and everything. And you would have thought that it could go either way in the game. It could go where it just is the point of motivation and the team like turns it on. And I felt like there was a little bit of that, like we got to do this for him. Or it could just go to pure deflation and it just go downhill, and OKC feels a different type of motivation, a different type of confidence. That didn't happen right away.
No.
It didn't happen until the beginning of the third.
And guess what? In the fourth quarter, they brought it and made it interesting.
They did.
You know, it looked like it was getting out of hand. And that's where I give them so much credit, dude. I mean, this Pacers team I have so much respect for the team because they just don't stop. Like even tonight, like it did feel over. This time it definitely felt over. And you're like, I don't know if they can do it, but they're cutting it to 10 from like 22. And you're like, I mean, we've seen it happen before.
I know.
We've seen TJ, like never say never. The fact that we could be saying that when Haliburton goes down was pretty remarkable. And they gave everything. And I think most NBA fans walk away going, dude, that Pacers team, I respect these guys. They brought it every single game, even when it looked like the game was over, and they found ways to get victories.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about with the game? Because I think
No,
there's
I mean-
so many things I want to talk about with the injury.
Yeah.
And just
The OKC's defense definitely turned it on. I thought SGA had a really strong game. It didn't look like it at the end of the night with the efficiency. I think he was like 9 of 27 or something like that. But defensively, they were just everywhere. It looked like OKC's defense. And then I thought there was a stretch. I think it was 3 plays in a row where SGA hit a 3. Jalen Williams hit a 3, and then Chet hit 1. And, you know, they weren't hitting threes. They really didn't hit threes. That's what's crazy in today's game. Everybody got to hit threes at a high rate. You know, they make 11. They shoot like 30% again from 3, but they win because of their defense. But that stretch was big. It's like, oh, okay, they are playing with confidence. The crowd is into it. they should feel pretty good about things. That's kind of where I'm at with the game. And I know we're going to spend time talking about OKC, but yeah, the Haliburton thing was the thing that I walked away with, just feeling just sick because it just sucks. And I feel bad for him. And, the Achilles is a scary injury.
I saw some narratives online and I thought a few of them were very interesting, how people just go so many different ways. And I saw the one like, well, he shouldn't even have played. Okay.
Yeah.
No. This just shouldn't even be out there. That shouldn't even be out there. One, as a professional athlete or an athlete that just loves the game, loves sport, whatever. If someone is going to tell you there's a possibility you could rupture your Achilles. Okay. I'm going out there anyway. I'll never forget growing up, I was told with my shoulder surgery, because my left shoulder comes out of the socket all the time playing basketball, whatever. Like, hey, with this surgery, when you're older, you might not be able to hold your children. Jokes on them, because one, I don't want kids, not having kids. Didn't know that at the time though.
Yeah.
But no, even at the time when I was like thinking about that, and I'm like 18.
Can I just say something real fast?
Yeah.
You think your doctor says that if you're
A man?
Joe Reagan?
Dude, right? Right?
Hey, man, I don't know. You got to think about this. You might not be able to
hold your children and not have a career and have your man be, no, fuck off to that doctor. No, but it was, but I will never forget being like, I don't give a shit. I would do anything for this sport. I'd do anything to be back on the floor and make sure I was 100% healthy. And it doesn't matter. And now these guys have all the greatest resources, all the different things, all the different voices around them that would be telling them this is just stupid for you to play. Like someone would have told him that, and he would still have the choice, because no one can predict that it's just going to happen.
Yeah, and if this was the regular season, is he missing a couple of weeks? Yeah, probably. But you're right. Like,
isn't it bound to happen? Like, I tried looking up stuff.
Is bound to happen?
Like the rupture,
I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a guarantee. I mean, it's risky. It's riskier. We saw it with Kevin Durant, right? It happened to him, a calf strain. And I pointed out to you, I think right around when that happened, I'm like, I noticed tape on his Achilles. I said that on one of our recaps.
Yeah.
And I was like, hopefully it's not his Achilles bugging him.
But it is when
everything's
it's
connected,
already,
man.
yeah, when it's a calf strain, it is.
So, to your point, like, I understand the school of thought. Some people say like, hey, you got to protect the player's always going to want to play. You got to protect the player and you can't let him out there. Yeah. He wasn't going out there with a head injury. He played game 6. He played 23 minutes and benefited from the fact that it was a blowout. And that was something on my watch list. I write a list of things I'm looking forward to in the game to kind of keep track of. And one of my things was like, okay, what's Haliburton look like in extended minutes? Yeah. Because, I anticipated this was going to be one of those games he's going to have to play 40 minutes in. And he didn't look like he was laboring as much today. He didn't. No. And he comes out and he hits a couple of threes. He hit one from 30 feet away. Like, okay, is this going to be the Tyrese Haliburton show? But you've got time in between games for treatment. Like you said, they have the resources.
But it could have happened with him coming off the bus. It could have happened with him coming off the plane.
I'm just saying, I understand the school of thought, what people bring it up, but I'm just like, dude, if he felt good enough and it's one thing if the guy's like, I feel good. And he's literally dragging his leg across the court. And dude, what are we doing here?
Sure.
But I think he was fine to play, and there's risk. Like you said, he could have literally got out of bed in the hotel and took a weird step and ruptured his Achilles this morning.
Absolutely, and especially because it was in the state that it was in.
Yeah, I mean, it was just a plane. It wasn't. I don't know. It was just wild to see that happen. But I don't agree. Dude, it's game 7. You're gonna tell him not to play. Hey, dude. Hey, I know you played game 6, but game 7 you're not playing. Or do you not play him at game 6? You might not be in a game 7, and he was very important for you in game 6. I don't know. It's a weird conversation to me to bring up.
I think it's a ridiculous angle. Yeah. I just don't think it's a fair angle to bring up.
I bet you right now, if you asked Tyrese Haliburton, hey, knowing what you know, would you have played? He would have said yes. He said, yeah, I would have still given it a shot.
Yeah. No. And it is what it is. And this is happening now. And it's going to be a long road to recovery. But I mean, some of the top players that we've seen throughout the years in the NBA have had the same injury and have found a way
One of them just got traded today at 37 years old.
Correct.
Kevin Durant. He
Yes.
got traded to Houston. He came back from Achilles injury, and he's been a really effective player.
The last 2 seasons playing over 60 games.
But it's definitely been an injury that's hurt others in a big way, and that goes to the other thing.
DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins had that. Rudy Gay. Kobe. I mean, Wes Matthews. But now the trend we're seeing that's disturbing is it's happened 8 times this year in the NBA.
Oh,
And you think about just alone, we saw Kyrie do it.
Yeah.
Dame did it. Jason Tatum, and now Tyrese Haliburton. And I think some people are going, okay, it's just too much. Like, why is this happening so much? And we all have theories, and I think
too many games.
That's what it comes down to.
Yes, because now you're playing at even a higher level, a higher speed, a higher pace, and so many fucking games.
Well, and I think what some people miss, especially people who've been watching the game a long time, they're like, okay, dude, like back in the day, they're playing 82 games a season. They're playing 40 minutes a night. They're playing physical. Like, no, I hear that, but here's the point you're missing. The game is more spaced out than ever. It's faster than ever. These guys are so athletic and explosive, and they're covering more ground than they ever have.
Different muscles, different conditioning.
And so I don't think, I'm not saying I'm exactly right. I'm not a doctor.
No. Dear God.
But
no.
I could be an amateur one, but
no.
As an amateur doctor, what I would say is that
this is great.
That has to be something to do with it. And it would be a shame if the league didn't look at that. And I know there's such a resistance to scaling back the games.
Yeah.
I can come up with 45 reasons why the league should scale back the games.
I could come up with 75 reasons.
Okay.
But give us one.
We'll save that for the off season.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna spend 3 hours talking about it. No, I mean, shortening the season, it's a no-brainer. It's one. I think it's just better for the product.
If there's less games?
Fewer games. So I think fan engagement goes higher.
Yes.
The players are fresher.
Games are more important too.
I mean, I'm watching the WNBA season right now.
You know what I mean?
It's 40 whatever games.
Thank you, 44.
44 games, okay. There's no back-to-back. There's like maybe one back-to-back. Like one.
Yeah.
You're not seeing it. It's spaced out. It's like, okay, it
it's
makes
so healthy for everyone. Like you
And
just said, the fans, the players,
the
broadcasters.
competitiveness is unreal.
Yes, because every single game they can leave it all out there. And not to say these NBA players can't, but sometimes physically it's like, wait, how am I supposed to do this tonight and then also tomorrow night because I have a back-to-back, but then also 2 days from now? It's just a lot.
The stat I saw tonight was that was the third Pacers player to rupture an Achilles this year. Yeah, James Wiseman did it earlier in the season.
Whoa.
Isaiah Jackson, and now Tyrese. That's insane.
Hey, what's going on with that conditioning coach?
No,
I'm kidding.
But 8 players tore their Achilles this year in the league. That's a lot. That's a lot, and it's great. It's something I think the league should look at. We can't just like ignore and brush aside. It's just a coincidence.
They look at everything. Why wouldn't they look at this? It's I don't know. There's got to be some. Obviously, there's not always going to be just stats and analytics to back this kind of stuff up. But when there's a large enough sample size, you can measure out the pace of the game compared to last year or the year before. In the last 5 years, it's like they have all the resources to do that. So yeah, it absolutely is something to look at, because you don't want a player making all of this money and then not being able to play in the next year. I mean, I love that. That's the first thing that I'm going to. but like that's one of the reasons.
I think one of the reasons you just don't want guys rupturing their Achilles.
That's
and you
the
want to
number
limit
one.
that.
Well, that's like the reason. That's the number one.
Are you an NBA owner right now? I can't have that because it costs me more money and this guy's not playing.
No. So like that was the reason. It's like duh, obvious, already there. So I guess the second reason is what I just said. It's all just sad. Trying to make light of it, and he'll recover. But I think the worst thing too is, and this goes for Jason Tatum, Kyrie, like all the people going through all these terrible injuries this year, is that what it does, how it challenges you mentally as a person, as a player, and like having to be your own coach and the fuckery behind certain things. Will I ever be better? Will I ever be able to be as explosive as I once was?
Taking that first step.
What will I be scared of?
Yeah.
Yeah, like all those things.
Yeah.
And, we've seen so many people get by it and do it. And there's the few that don't. And I really feel bad for anyone that has to go through this. I think we're just feeling obviously heavy today because of what the game was and who the player is.
It's a great series. It was a really fun series.
It really
and
was.
It was a shame that had to happen in this game 7. So, well wishes to Tyrese Haliburton. What a ride too. By the way, I'm very conscious of the fact that we've been talking for like 20 minutes now, and we haven't even talked really about OKC winning a championship. And I do think this was one of the big things, subplot. So if you're an OKC fan right now, you're like, dude, why do you pay attention to you clowns, you assholes? My team just won a championship for the first time since 2008.
I know. Sorry, guys.
I'm sorry.
Super excited.
I even messed that up. For the first time ever, and they got to OKC in 2008. They're
go.
even going at me now going, God, this guy knows nothing.
Dumbass.
We have slobbered over Oklahoma City for a long time. And
All
I
year long,
remember earlier this year seeing them play Boston. I'm just like, who's better than this Oklahoma City team? Who's better than them? And man, were they tested in this series. This young group. And I think when we talk about this series so much, it turned into like, hey, I'm rooting for the underdog Pacers, and I don't want them to, I don't want the 68 win favorites to win. I'm like, well, this 68 win team is a pretty amazing story. You think about 2 years ago, they're a play-in team.
Yeah. Last
year, taking a jump, and then boom, here they are winning a championship. It's not the usual path. Usually you see a team, it takes them 5-6 years, but man, do we have high standards for this team. And they're the youngest team to win a championship in like 40 years or whatever it is. And they did it, even if they had some flaws, even if they had some moments where they look lost. I look at this Oklahoma City team like, they learned some shit and they have a lot to get better on. And they're doing it as champions.
They're doing it as champions, and they're in such a great place as an organization with contracts, with pieces, with obviously how they develop players within their system, develop coaches within their system, the patience that they got to put in, and maybe even the understanding will be there with this team that or with this organization of how hard it is to do it back to back, to do it a couple years in a row. And especially when you said you look at the last 7 seasons and we've had a different champion every single year. Like, it seems like it's harder than ever. And because of, like I was saying, with the contracts and the second apron and all those things. But at the end of the day, I think it's with this team and this system, the style of play, you plug in some really good players that also buy in, and you're going to see so much success. And this team saw success all season long. And sometimes when you do see that, and especially as a young team, it becomes even harder to, I guess, stay consistent even in that. Because, you could get better and better and then get to the postseason and then new shit be thrown at you. And you're like, oh, wait, we can't just do what we did great all season long. We have to take that to another level.
There's
and
a
they
different
did.
expectation, of course now. And yeah, I mean, even look at someone like Chet. He didn't play his first year. He has year 2. Then this year he had the hip injury.
Yeah.
He's still, I know this was year 3, but this wasn't really like year 3 for him. You know what I mean? Like, he is learning a lot. He is going through so much, and he had moments where it looked very raw out there.
Yeah.
But defensively, he was a monster. I guess my point to that is, like, you look at OKC, they just won a championship. They've got the MVP, and you go, Chet Holmgren, he can be a lot better, and he probably can get there.
Absolutely.
Jalen Williams had some awesome moments. Can get better. Mm-hmm. That's scary.
And it's scary too, because of all the assets that this team has. Sam Presti will be capable of making any necessary tweaks that make sense to make the team better, or to change some things up, or whatever it is that they need to do. Sometimes that can screw with things, but also you're going to understand that other teams are going to come into the league next year, and know your MO, know what you're about, and know how to maybe start to beat that. For example, Indiana started finding a little bit of an answer with the way, but they were doing it. It was part of their identity all season long of running up and down the floor and pushing the pace and getting out in transition. And I think other teams in the NBA, if you have the right pieces to do that and the buy-in from your players, yeah, you can execute and see a lot of success in that role, even if you don't have the best players in this league. Like there's just different, I hope there's teams around the league that take these different strategies into their organization and just utilize them correctly, because I think team basketball really shined in this entire series. Yeah. And that is something that I hope to see going forward into this next season, more so around the league.
Yeah, I enjoyed both these teams. And Oklahoma City, what they did like all year long defensively, they were just so on a string defensively. And man, they were tested. But like even thinking about their ride to the finals and what they had to do against Jokic, Caruso, what a pickup that was for them.
Yeah.
Caruso's defending some of the best guys. It's funny, Caruso like defending some of the best guys in the series, yet TJ McConnell cooks them at times. You're like, what? This doesn't make sense.
But it made all the sense in the world because of their motors, because of their mentalities.
Right.
Like
it's just crazy. But
goes a long way.
Their defense was just so fun this year, and they've got those three young players that can grow. And it's just a crazy turnaround for this Oklahoma City team that probably thought in 2012 that they're going to win many championships with that group, and they don't get their first championship until 2025 with a totally different approach.
For being a Kings fan and really, really fucking hating this season for the Kings, like it was just kind of not fun.
And how every like national podcast you listen to now makes a joke about the Kings, no matter what they're. You're like, how did the Kings get brought up, and why did they? Why don't bring that up right now?
For all of that. This season, there was even I just had so much fun watching. I didn't watch a lot of Pacers all season long. I knew what was going on, watched when I could. But OKC, it was my league pass team. I was watching any opportunity I could. And what I will say, as a basketball fan, I loved and enjoyed watching that team all season long. And they deserved this championship. They did a great job getting here, and they gave me so much entertainment as a basketball fan. I can only imagine what those fans feel like tonight.
Oh my God.
What a special team to root on and to enjoy and to see win a championship.
I know this is their first championship.
Yeah.
But also, like, you spoiled fans. Just Oklahoma City fans, just fucking enjoy this, please. Okay, just enjoy the fact that since 2008, you've had Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook, two guys winning MVPs I just named.
Yeah.
Right? Thinking about you had James Harden for a second. That team was Serge Ibaka too. God, that team was stacked. And then you even had like Paul George come to town for a minute. Melo dipped in there for a second. Mm-hmm. Then you have Chris Paul come in for a team that wasn't supposed to be any good. And then he helps Lou Dort and SGA get to the playoffs. Then 2 down years, and then here we are. Couple of years after that. You've had it really nice, and I'm so jealous. And it just shows like how much it matters to just have that right leadership. And Sam Presti, the job Sam Presti has done over the years is just fantastic. His approach and the trust that they have in him to like go execute the game plan. You know. They had years of disappointment. Hell, like we just talked about, like they were up 3-1 on the Golden State Warriors in a series and lost it, you know, and then Kevin Durant leaves after that. That's a lot to try to overcome and deal with.
Soak it in.
Soak in like these great moments because, you know, it's hard to get back there. And as we just detail at the top of this, like 7 years in a row, we've had a different champ. That's crazy.
Goodbye, NBA season.
But
what?
Real fast.
You have what?
Oklahoma City.
You got some what?
Are they the favorites again next year?
I'm not doing that shit right now. I'm not doing
just
that.
Looking at it, yes, they are.
I mean,
no one
prisoner of the moment munch? Yeah, sure. Definitely. Oh no, the Houston Rockets are now because of that trade. No.
The East is so bad.
The East?
What do we do about the East?
I wish Sacramento was an Eastern Conference team.
Yeah, can we petition the NBA and have the Kings just, we'll pay a fee and just play in the East next year.
I like that.
They're a playing team in the East. No, but seriously,
hate everything.
We think about what Boston's going on with Boston. So no Tatum next year. There's so much talk about them moving some key pieces because of the luxury tax issue, the second apron, all that shit. But I feel like they could still field a competitive team in the East, especially with what's going. Orlando looks pretty good at the moment after the Bane trade.
Okay, yep.
Detroit, what do they look like next year? They had a great year. They get Jaden Ivey back in
Another
the fold.
year of development.
Okay.
Yep.
Cleveland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
And the Knicks don't even have a head coach at the moment.
Nope.
But they've got talent. So there's like 5 teams. But out of those 5 teams I just mentioned, I'm not.
But you didn't even mention the Pacers. But
I will say, you know what? I will say next year the Pacers will still be competitive, even without
Tyrese.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They got to figure out like Miles Turner's contract, and they definitely take a hit. They're going to be different, but in the East they can be competitive.
Okay.
So let's just throw them in there. Out of those 6 teams, you go, hey, dude, that's the favorite. All of these teams in the East are literally going, it could be us. If we make the right move, like maybe this is the year to take a swing at something. Miami's after tonight, remember they were trying to get KD, but they're going, God, if we do make the right addition to this group, who the hell knows?
Who knows?
It's wide
what
open.
You can do in the East. Yep.
Even Giannis now.
Mm-hmm.
Giannis probably is like, well, I mean, I've got a chance now with this group.
Yeah, don't go to the West. Don't trade me to the West.
No. I think he's going to stay now.
Okay.
And then one last question for you.
Yeah.
Who do you think feels worse tonight?
Okay.
All right.
Jesus.
Taking out Pacers fans, like no.
Okay.
Shit. Okay.
And so sorry, guys.
That's awful. Clippers because of SGA.
Okay.
What a season! MVP, Finals MVP.
Got it.
Okay. Is it Seattle Sonics fans?
No.
Going, this team could have. What?
I think that's stupid.
Okay.
I think that's such a far disconnect. What?
I'm just asking. Can I go over the options before you say that's awful?
Okay, next.
Josh Giddey.
Are those my 3?
No, I'm not done.
Okay, that's why I threw
this
Seattle.
last one is a stretch.
Okay.
The Lakers, because they see Alex Caruso win a championship. They let Caruso go.
Dude, the Josh Giddey one kind of got me.
You think he's probably ecstatic for his teammates, but you think deep down it's hurting him right now? Like, man, I was a part of this journey a little bit here.
Yeah. Yeah. How could you not be? You were a huge part of it.
I would say for Seattle Sonics fans, I think they would feel the worst, honestly.
I love that you're
because it's just they are a passionate fan base. I know they're eager to get a team back in the league, but dude, like some of them they hate Oklahoma City, and they will forever hate Oklahoma City for Clay Bennett dipping out on Seattle like that, and the league approving it. And then you see this group win a championship.
I guess it's been so many years. I just feel like
dude, a team leaving. Do you ever get over that?
I don't know because I haven't experienced it.
Yeah, but you don't.
You sure?
I don't think you do. I mean, when the Kings almost left to Seattle, I felt a piece of me dying.
Yeah, but they stayed. That's why I'm like,
and now I feel more dead than ever.
Stop.
Oh my God.
It will only get better. We will pay that fee to be in the Eastern Conference. Yes, we will. I will even stay up later for those games.
We're going to have more content coming up this week too. NBA draft is Wednesday and Thursday. Free agency right around the corner. We saw a big trade today with Kevin Durant. Dropped a mini pod on that too. So buckle up. I'm excited to see what goes down. We saw the first domino, I guess, with KD.
Yeah.
And
the NBA season's over, but basketball never stops.
It doesn't. You got the W going on. We'll do some WNBA content too. Yeah, the next week is fascinating. I think there are a lot of teams going, dude, in the East going, we got a shot. And even in the West, I mean, OKC is going to be the favorites, but after that, what tinkering is going to happen, dude? Anyway, let us know in the comments below. Hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.